Now we're going to clear the queue and the time. Now it's in order for you to introduce new motions. Microphone 10A, please state your name, your church, city and state, and your motion.
Mr. President, my name is Zach Reno, and I am a messenger and pastor at Enon Baptist Church in Morris, Alabama. I make a motion that the messengers of the 2024 Southern Baptist Convention request that every elected president of the Pastors' Conference henceforth be required by the messengers to give at least one time slot of the Pastors' Conference, typically used for preaching on the Monday schedule, to a moment of guided prayer and intercession. I make this motion in light of our great need for prayer and a genuine movement of God.
You're just going to make your motion now, and you can make a case for it later. Is there a second? Okay. Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 2A, would you please state your point of order? First of all, your name, your church, city, and state your point of order.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. My name is Ethan Jago, and I'm a messenger from Five Bridges Church, Panama City Beach, Florida. The point of order I am making is I move for the sake of transparency and being above reproach, the microphone queue either be published on screens or for our parliamentarian to oversee the mic queue right beside the president on the platform.
Okay. So that's not a point of order. The point of order is not well taken. Microphone 7A, would you please state your name, your church, city, and state, and your motion?
I'm Lewis Cook, messenger of Oak City Baptist Church, Oak City, North Carolina. I move that the messengers censure Albert Mohler, Ben Mandrell, and Bart Barber for their roles in approving an amicus brief in the state of Kentucky that prevented an abuse survivor from having their day in court, and in direct opposition to the express will of the messengers of the Southern Baptist Convention through multiple resolutions passed regarding sexual abuse.
Is there a second? Please, the motion has been seconded. Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 7B, right back to you. Please state your name, your church, city, and state, and your motion.
My name is James Briggs. I'm a messenger from First Baptist Church in Fayette, Missouri. I move that the 2024 Southern Baptist Convention requests that the North American Mission Board put together a task force to study the addition of founding and supporting Christian schools to their mission focus, supporting the practice of Christian education, focusing especially on neglected and impoverished rural communities.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 8A, please state your name, your church, city, and state, and then your motion.
Name is Alan Featherstone from Mosaic Church in Provo, Utah, and I move that the newly elected president of the Southern Baptist Convention appoint a blue ribbon committee to review the Baptist Faith and Message 2000 in order to consider the writing of an updated edition of the Baptist Faith and Message, and to report back to the messengers at the 2025 SBC annual meeting with recommendation.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 6A, please state your name, your church, city, and state, and your motion.
I'm Charles Johnson, the pastor of First Baptist Church of Sand Hill, Kentucky. I move that the SBC prohibit the use of cooperative program funds to transport SB entity, board, or institutional personnel to annual meetings where they can function as messengers.
Is there a second?
Second. Here.
Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 2A, please state your name, your church, city, and state, and your motion.
Hi, it's me again. My name is Ethan Jago, and I'm a messenger from Five Bridges Church in Panama City Beach, Florida. I move that we, the messengers to the Southern Baptist Convention meeting in Indianapolis, Indiana, June 11th through 12th, 2024, amend Article 6 of the SBC Constitution by adding a Section 9, which I'll read as follows. Conflicts. No trustee or director of a board, institution, or commission, or a member of the executive committee shall be eligible to serve if such trustee or director is employed by any entity, commission, or the executive committee. In our polity, all convention entities are supposed to be accountable to their trustees. In turn, the trustees are accountable to the
You're not going to argue for your motion now. You just make the motion. Is there a second? Okay. Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 6B, please state your name, your church, city, and state in your motion.
My name is Joe Sneed. I'm a messenger from First Baptist Church of Rockwall, Texas. Sorry, that's messing me up. I move that the ELC issue a formal apology to the executive committee after their former head made allegations of sexual abuse and sexual cover-up by the executive committee, which were shown to be false after $14 million worth of tithes and offerings were used to investigate those allegations. And I further move that the Abuse Reform Implementation Task Force proposal for a national database of pastors who have been accused of wrongdoing but have convicted of nothing be abandoned because it violates the scriptural principle in 1 Timothy 5:19 and opens up the SBC to be sued for millions of more dollars.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 6C, please state your name, your church, city, and state in your motion.
I'm Brian DeMosick, messenger from New Vision Church in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I move that the messengers of this convention amend bylaw 26.3 to allow additional time for questions during entity reports. The amended language would read, limitations after consideration of every entity report before the convention, no less than 8 minutes shall be reserved for discussion from the floor.
Is there a second? Okay, please give a copy of your motion to the page. I'm going to stop saying city and state because I've said it so many times. Just please give that city and state. Microphone 1A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Good afternoon. My name is Benjamin Hankin. I am the pastor and messenger from Life House Church in Salem County, New Jersey. The city is Pennsville, New Jersey. I move that the executive committee create a study group or task force that would study how churches are engaging the special needs community. This group or task force would also research and compile resources that would be recommended as tools for churches in the SBC to utilize in reaching individuals and families in this often overlooked community. This group or task force would report back to the convention in 2025 at the annual meeting in Dallas, Texas. This report would also include recommendations on how SBC churches could implement processes and procedures to help them start special needs ministries, further equip churches for special needs ministries, and also provide encouragement for those already engaged in special needs ministries, as well as those seeking to begin special needs ministries.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 3A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Sean Dentons, Crazy Uncle, Vine Street Baptist Church, Louisville, Kentucky. I move that the president elected at this annual meeting appoint a fact-finding committee, hereafter the committee, of 5 persons to conduct a factual review of the convention's implementation of the sexual abuse reforms passed in Anaheim in June 2022. The messengers of this convention shall fully vest the committee with the authority to remotely interview members of the Abuse Reform Implementation Task Force, as well as agents, employees, and contractors of any SBC entity or organization as the committee deems relevant. No party shall be required to speak to members of the committee. No budget shall be provided for this volunteer committee. The committee shall present a report to the convention at next year's annual meeting in Dallas, Texas. The report shall contain information but not recommendations. The committee shall include 2 or 3 members from the 2021 Sexual Abuse Task Force and 2 or 3 members from the SBC Executive Committee's Legal Strategy Subcommittee for a total of 5 members.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 2B, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Greetings, my name is Clay Hall, and I'm a messenger from Oak Grove Baptist Church in Paducah, Kentucky. I move that we, the messengers to the Southern Baptist Convention meeting in Indianapolis, Indiana, June 11th through 12th, 2024, amend Article 6 of the SBC Constitution by adding a new Article 7, which shall read as follows. Conflicts of interest policy. Each entity shall maintain a publicly available conflicts of interest policy for its trustees or directors, requiring public disclosure of any actual or potential conflicts of interest.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 8B, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
My name is Casey Fender of Pleasant Gardens Baptist Church of Marion, North Carolina. I would like to make a motion for the messengers of the Southern Baptist Convention meeting in Indianapolis, Indiana, June 11th and 12th of 2024. Direct the executive committee to publish a schedule of all amounts spent on legal fees, legal costs, fines, settlement payments, or retention paid by or on behalf of the executive committee with respect to each matter of litigation involving the executive committee for the years 2021 and 2024 and published 6 months from today.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 3B, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Your Holiness, my name is Dave Miller from First Baptist Church of Tacoma. I move that the EC, for the sake of us elderly people who cannot remember names, put the names on the front and back of our name tags. Amen.
That sounds like a second. Please give a copy of the motion to a page if you can remember what you said. Microphone 2C, would you please state your name, your state, and your motion?
Joel Breidenball, Gospel Centered Church, Apopka, Florida. I move that the messengers of the 2024 Southern Baptist Convention direct the newly elected president of this convention to appoint a study task force by October 1, 2024, if the executive committee of the SBC has not completed a similar study and report by the end of their September 2024 committee meeting. The study task force shall examine all relevant public court findings and oral arguments submitted by North American Mission Board since 2017 to determine if NAM's representations are consistent with SBC governing documents, Baptist polity, or create new risks for churches or other Baptist bodies associated with the convention's EC or its entities. Additionally, the task force shall assess any possible new threat created to Baptist ministers and/or Baptist mission gifts entrusted to the SBC. This examination of court materials does not include NAM's internal operation, but its external effects on Baptist bodies, ministers, missions, and partnerships. The task force should consult with at least one Baptist attorney familiar with SBC distinctives who is not currently representing the convention, the EC, one of its entities, or involved in a current lawsuit involving the SBC or one of its entities. Due to the urgency created by the numerous current lawsuits involving the SBC and its entities, the task force is urged to complete the study prior to the February 2025 Executive Committee meeting or sooner if possible. Its report should be made available to Baptists, and go St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, you get a second for me on that last part, but is there a second for the motion? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. 6A, microphone 6A, would you please state your name, your church, and your point of order?
Yeah, my name's Jim Gregory, First Southern Baptist Church, Mountain Home, Idaho. And I would just like to ask that we get to all the mics. We've got a gentleman standing over there at 5 that's been there first in line, and you have not called microphone 5 yet.
The point of order is not well taken, but I'm trying to do exactly that, and I cut you off so we'd have more time to try to get to all the microphones, okay? Microphone 6A again, there's an urgent request. Was that still you?
No, can't cancel that.
We're going to cancel that, okay. All right. Microphone 6B also for an urgent request. Still canceled. Okay, great. Very good. Microphone 2A, would you please?
Yeah, 2A, we have a point of order.
Microphone 2A, would you please state your name, your church, and your point of order?
Yes, my name is Griffin Gulledge from Madison Baptist Church. I have a point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
Is it proper to request the unseating of messengers via point of order, or must it be made as a motion?
Must be made as a motion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The chair is going to recognize the Hayden Ratner, the chair of the Committee on Order of Business, for a motion.
The Committee on Order of Business would like to extend this time an extra 10 minutes, if that be approved.
There is a second. Okay, this requires a 2/3 vote. It's not debatable. As many as are in favor of extending the time, would you please raise your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. As many as are opposed, would you please raise your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. There being 2/3 in the majority, the motion carries, and the time is extended by 10 minutes.
Now, 9A.
Microphone 9A, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion?
Hi, Jonathan Paramore. I'm a messenger from Christ Community Church in San Jose, California. I move that all SBC entities consider revising their respective codes of conduct, handbooks, policies, or governing documents to lift prohibitions on the use of alcohol outside of communion. These revisions should respect the positive view of moderate alcohol use as presented in Scripture, while maintaining strict prohibitions against alcohol abuse, similar to the policy outlined in Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary's student handbook.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 3C, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion?
Mr. President, my name is Greg Kite. I'm a messenger from Trinity Baptist Church in Wamego, Kansas. I would like to move that the messengers to the Southern Baptist Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, June 11th through 12th, 2024, direct the Executive Committee to publish a schedule of all amounts spent on legal fees, legal costs, fines, settlement payments, or retention paid by or on behalf of the Executive Committee with respect to each matter of litigation involving the Executive Committee for the years 2021 through 2024 and published 6 months from today.
Okay. Is there a second? Please give your motion to the page. Copy of it. 9B. Microphone 9B. Please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Aaron Decker, Red Village Church, Madison, Wisconsin. I move that the messengers to this convention unseat the messengers from First Baptist Church, Alexandria, Virginia, on the grounds of their public endorsement of egalitarianism.
Is there a second? Want to let you know that that motion, we've said that the motions are automatically referred to the Committee on Order of Business. Bylaws require that that one be referred directly to the Credentials Committee. So thank you. Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 5. Microphone 5A, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion?
Mr. President, my name is Curtis Kinnemer. I am a messenger from Central Baptist Church.
You don't look that old to me, I just want to say.
Okay. I move I didn't catch that, but maybe I'm too old. I don't know. I move that the messengers of the 2024 SBC annual meeting request that the trustees of our entities, including our seminaries and all our boards and commissions, explain how Calvinist/Reformed theology is compatible with the Baptist Faith and Message 2000, and consider eliminating the teaching and promotion of Calvinist/Reformed theology from all SBC entities, and report their findings and any resulting action steps to the 2025 SBC annual meeting. Thank you.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 9C, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion?
Yes, my name is Jonathan Clayton. I am a messenger from Forestville Baptist Church in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and I move that my proposed resolution entitled on the need...
So that motion is not in order at this time, and you'll have to make that motion at the end of the Resolutions Committee report.
Okay.
Microphone 4A, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion?
Matt Dunn, First Baptist Church, Bates City, Missouri, Kansas City area. Go Chiefs. Thank you, Mr. President, for your service, leadership to our convention as we all cooperate to live out the Great Commission. I move our entities, especially the ERLC, will reissue October 11th statement 2023 after the Hamas attack in Israel. I'm almost done. It simply says this: evangelical support of Israel, number one. Israel has the right to exist. Number two, it has the right to defend itself. Thank you.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 4B, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
John Boquist, River Rock Church, Caroline, Ruther Glen, Virginia. Mr. President, I move that we form an ad hoc committee to consider these two questions. One, is it advisable and practical to have a plurality of elders in a local church? Two, what is the role and composition of a deacon body in a local church which has a plurality of elders? And bring its the echo's killing me. And bring its report with recommendations to the 2025 annual meeting in Dallas, Texas. Thank you, sir.
I've been there, it's brutal. Is there a second? Okay, please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 4C, would you please state your name, your church, and your motion?
Chelsea McReynolds from the Chandler Southern Baptist Church in Chandler, Oklahoma. I move that any alterations made to the Baptist Faith and Message at any annual meeting of the convention be approved by a vote of 2/3 of the messengers present and voting at the time the vote is taken.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 1B, please state your name and your church and your motion.
My name is Ethan Hester. I'm a messenger from Pleasant Gardens Baptist Church in Marion, North Carolina. I move that the messengers to the Southern Baptist Convention meeting in Indianapolis, Indiana, June 11th and 12th, direct the Executive Committee to publish a schedule of payments of more than $5,000 made by any entity to or on behalf of any cooperating church of this convention, its pastors or their spouses, or associational missionaries or their spouses.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 1C, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Mr. President, my name is Stephen Lawrence, and I'm a messenger from Two Cities Church in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We move that the Southern Baptist Convention amend the Baptist Faith and Message to add the following article, Article 19, the Creed. Would you like me to read the text of the proposed article?
Please, no. Is there a second? Okay, please give a copy of your motion to the page. Thank you. Microphone 10A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
My name is Kenneth Cavey from Bethel Baptist Church in Ellicott City, Maryland. I move that the messengers of the 2024 Southern Baptist Convention, as the sole member of each SBC entity, request the Executive Committee examine all relevant public court filings and oral arguments submitted by NAM since 2017 to determine if NAM's representations are consistent with the SBC governing documents, Baptist polity, or create new risk for churches or other Baptist bodies associating with the convention's EC or its entities. Additionally, the Executive Committee shall assess any possible new threat created to Baptist ministers and/or Baptist mission gifts entrusted to the SBC. This examination of the court materials does not include NAM's internal operations, but its external effects on Baptist bodies, ministers, missions, and partnership. The committee shall consult with at least one Baptist attorney familiar with SBC distinctives who is not currently representing the convention, the EC, or one of its entities, or is involved in a current lawsuit involving the SBC or one of its entities. Due to the urgency created by the numerous current lawsuits involving SBC and its entities, the committee is urged to complete the study prior to the September 2024 meeting, and its report should be made available to Baptists.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 7A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
My name is Talmadge Fogg, and I'm a messenger from Cinco Baptist Church in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and also president of Fogg Christian College. I move that the newly elected president of the SBC appoint a task force to study the addition of a new IMB program to train and support Philippine Indigenous Baptist pastors and report back to the 2025 annual meeting.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 10B, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
My name is Wesley Russell, messenger from Emmanuel Baptist Church in Pikeville, Kentucky. I move that the Executive Committee create or collect pertinent contact information such as names, positions, and email addresses for all trustees of all Southern Baptist entities and publish a directory on sbc.net. Thank you.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 10C, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Jared Burdick, messenger of Lighthouse Baptist Church, St. George, Kansas. I move we direct the Executive Committee to form a task force to study the long-term effects of the IMB's COVID vaccine mandate on the health of its missionaries and future financial repercussions. Thank you.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 6A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
My name is David Morrill, and I'm a messenger from Applewood Baptist Church in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. In consideration of the convention's repeated stated desire to equip churches to understand and protect against sexual abuse, which in addition to the helpful development of a ministry kit for churches, has unfortunately also resulted in a $2 million report.
Would you please state, I move, and then your motion.
I'm getting there, Mr. President.
But don't argue for it now. Just give what you're moving for us to do, please.
All right. Sorry, I got to fast forward a little bit. I move that the Southern Baptist Convention meeting June 11 to 12, 2024 in Indianapolis ask the newly elected president of the SBC to appoint a task force within 30 days of the date of this convention that shall be comprised of members of Baptist churches cooperating with this convention, experts in law and legal investigation, and not to include church members who have previously served on the Sexual Abuse Task Force or the Abuse Reform Implementation Task Force. This task force shall either assume investigative duties or commission a third-party investigation, the goal of which is to provide a report to the 2025 SBC annual meeting that answers the following questions. What is the total of church-provided giving that has been spent so far by the Southern Baptist Convention related to sex abuse investigations, reporting websites and hotlines, and legal expenses and settlements? What is the nature and financial scale of the legal risk presented to the convention and its member churches resulting from the executive committee waiving attorney-client privilege and the current lawsuits filed against the convention that have resulted from the Guidepost report? What has been the official role of sex abuse advocate Rachel Den Hollander, who has been reported to be advising the convention's sex abuse response, legally representing plaintiffs against the convention, and reportedly directing alleged sex abuse victims calling into the SBC abuse hotline to lawyers interested in suing the convention, with the current SBC president publicly claiming in 2022 that the executive committee ignored and attacked abuse survivors, only to later reveal that the executive committee had done nothing for which it should be held legally accountable, and with the U.S. Justice Department closing its investigation into the executive committee with no action. What potential apology should be made by this convention to churches that have been forced to defend their reputations against false accusations of sin they did not commit? This investigation shall be funded by allocations from the cooperative program. Thank you.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 3, would you please state what your point of order or urgent request is?
Mr. President, I'm Benjamin Colt, member of Prestonwood Baptist Church in Plano. It seems to me that some of the messengers have not heard your instructions and have cost other messengers who have succinct motions the time necessary to make them. I would like to ask that you give the messengers back the time that has been taken from them and hold the line fast on the time requirements and the motions that are being made. Could we have 2 minutes back to continue the motions that messengers have come here to make?
So you have the right to make a motion to extend time. Doesn't have to be the Committee on Order of Business to do that. Let's just check and see, is there any objection to extending 2 more minutes onto the time? We do have an objection.
Mr. President,
yes.
I would like to ask that the Committee on Order of Business move to extend 2 minutes of time.
Okay, we're going to take that as a motion from you to extend the time by 2 minutes. Is there a second? Second. This motion is not debatable. It requires 2/3 vote in order to pass. And so, are you ready for the question? As many of you as are in favor, would you indicate by raising your ballots in favor of extending the time? Thank you. You may lower them. As many as are opposed, would you indicate by lifting your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them.
And before we set the time, we will not take that as a point of order again.
Okay.
Another point of order on 7A.
Okay. So the parliamentarian would like for me to note that that's not a point of order, and it's really just a regular motion and should have come in the normal queue of the motions. But we've done it this time. Microphone 7A has a point of order. Would you state your name, your church, and your point of order?
Yes, Joshua Claiborne from First Baptist Church, Paris, Texas. And that was my point of order, was that he cannot make a motion in the form of a point of order. And so I was wondering if I could make a motion in the form of a point of order.
So you've been recognized to raise a point of order. The chair finds that your point is well taken. And because of that, we're still going to add 2 minutes because we have a whole group of people who voted to do that. And so there were more than 2/3 in favor. We're adding 2 minutes. We're doing that as of right now. The chair cannot impose, there are time limits for people to speak for and against motions. There are no time limits in our rules of order or our standing rules for how long you can take to make a motion. So, please, if you can, be brief. You're not inconveniencing me, you're inconveniencing other people who want to make a motion. So, microphone 3A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Michael Sherwood, messenger from Gore Springs Baptist Church, Gore Springs, Mississippi. I move that the Southern Baptist Convention remove pledges of allegiance to any earthly kingdom from all convention activities.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 2A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
Mr. President, my name is Ken Rucker. I'm president, pastor, and messenger of New Branch Community Church in Buford, Georgia. I motion that the messengers direct the executive committee or appropriate committee to disallow any political candidate from being a speaker at the annual meeting during the 12 months leading up to their election, and not to advertise any outside events that do.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 3B, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
My name is Tom Askell. I am a messenger from Grace Baptist Church in Cape Coral, Florida. I would like to move in accordance with Bylaw 25 for the abolishing of the ERLC.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. Microphone 5A, please state your name, your church, and your motion.
My name is Wade Thomas. I'm a messenger from Christ the King Church in Cincinnati, Ohio. I move that the business and financial plan be amended as follows. Financial reports, paragraph 2, be amended to add further that the executive committee's published financial reports should be supplemented to provide an accurate statement of the activities undertaken by the Southern Baptist Convention, its officers, committees, task forces, and agents, such that messengers receive an accurate statement of the financial position, activities, cash flows, and investments, if any, of each, the Southern Baptist Convention, its officers, committees, task forces, and agents.
Is there a second? Please give a copy of your motion to the page. The time for the introduction of new motions has expired. All right.